Canada has always prided itself on being a free nation, including the rights to freedom of religion and freedom of speech. However, at times, these rights seem to be fading more and more. So why is this happening and what can be done about it? Well, today's guest joins us from Lethbridge. Richard Lowe is a lawyer and also a spokesperson for the group Lethbridge Friends of Religious Freedom. Welcome to Bridge City News, Richard. Great to have you on today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Okay, so maybe firstly, tell us a bit about what your organization is all about.
So it's a grassroots organization that we call Lethbridge Friends of Religious Freedom. It's really four of us who are friends and who've known each other for a long time, who have gotten together because of our mutual concern about religious freedom and how uh, it is being eroded and how it's not being valued in our society as much as we would like. And so we got together about 6 or 8 months ago and decided that we were going to try and do something about it. And we organized a symposium that I'm sure we're going to get into that's scheduled for September 21st. But basically, on our key organizing group, we have myself and we have another lawyer, David Cavilla, who's very connected to the Catholic community. We have Bill Zwartbull, who's a pastor of the Free Grace Fellowship in Lethbridge, and also Scott Sear, who's a pastor with the King of Kings Fellowship in Lethbridge. So, and we've also had representation from the Muslim community who've come and been a part of our organizational committee as well. So we've tried to get a broad representation from different religious groups.
As well as LDS, I believe, too, right?
Yes, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so we feel like this kind of broad coalition, all of us are concerned about religious freedom and wanting to promote and protect it. And that's led to this group organizing this symposium.
That's so interesting that you have all these different faiths coming together. I think a lot of times when people think religious freedom, they think about their own religion, right? That's not necessarily the case.
No. And I think that's one of the things that the values that's inherent in religious freedom is the ability to condone and respect other people's rights to believe differently than what myself or you might believe. And I think that's a big challenge in our society because it seems like differences in beliefs is a real cause for contention and polarization. And if you really study religious freedom and the experts that we're bringing in who are experts in this area will tell us and teach us that the essence of religious freedom is that respect for other people's right to believe, even if it's different than yours.
We're totally going to get into that as well. But you did mention that you have an event coming up, this symposium, right? It's the Lethbridge Religious Freedom Symposium on Saturday, September 22nd at Southminster United Church. So you
Yes,
have some high profile guests as well, right?
yes, it's actually the 21st of September, but it is a Saturday.
Did I not
Yeah,
say 21st?
I think you said the 22nd, but that's fine.
I apologize. Saturday, September
Well,
21st. Yes,
you
from
got to get
10
the
a.m.
date.
till 4 p.m., right?
You got it. You
Okay.
got it. Yeah, we were very fortunate to get three they are experts in the area of religious freedom. All three of them have written and spoken extensively in North America about religious freedom. Our first is Steve Collis, who's a University of Texas law professor. Then we have Bruce Clemenger, who's the president emeritus of the Evangelical Fellowship of Canada. And we also have Andrew Bennett, who is the program director at Cardis, specifically for religious freedom. And like I say, these three are experts. They're giving of their time to come to Lethbridge and speak about this topic, various aspects of this topic. Our overall theme is, can religious freedom be a force for unity in society? And so that will be what they'll be addressing, is how that can happen. We also have panelists drawn from the local communities. We have Ramona Bighead, who's an Indigenous spiritual leader she's a member of the Blood Tribe and also very connected to the Piikani tribe. We have Elder David Stewart, who's in Area 70 for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We have Dr. Atif Khalil, who's a religion professor at the University of Lethbridge over Islamic studies. We have Daniel Zapula, who's again a pastor for the Ms. City Church here in Lethbridge. We have Father Tumbak, a Catholic father who's also a pastor.
The
Um,
list just goes on and on here.
it does, and we have 9 of them, and there's several. Diana Sims, who's the executive director of the Martha Retreat Center. So we've got some really wonderful local people who are also coming to be on a panel that will take the topics of these experts and kind of localize them and say how that's relevant to their particular religious experience right here in Lethbridge. So we're very,
Interesting.
there'll also be an opportunity for a Q&A from the participants. And so we feel like it'll be a great way to talk about this subject and explore it and find out how it's important to us individually, and whether you're a religious person or not. We feel like this theme and the message will resonate even with non-religious people, where they will understand that religious freedom is an important value, even if you're not religious, because of the contributions and the benefit that that gives to a free and open society.
Right. I think many people believe religion is one of the main causes of division in our society, but you believe religious freedom can actually be a force of unity. So, can you maybe explain that?
100%. And again, I think, like I said a few minutes ago, the essence of religious freedom, when you really examine it, is the ability to respect other people's beliefs and other people's right to express those beliefs, even though they're different than your own. And that's, if that is the value of religious freedom, then that is something that doesn't cause division, and quite the opposite. It will help us to live together in harmony even when we have divisions. And religion has been used as an excuse to create wars and divisions historically in the world. But if you really look at it, those wars are only excuses to suppress or be intolerant towards other people's beliefs, which is not what religious freedom is all about.
Do you think that if freedom of religion is ensured in Canada, that non-religious people benefit from this as well?
100%. And the speakers will address this, and I'm no expert in religious freedom, and I'll put that out there for sure, but I know enough about it that there's been studies and lots of data that will show that countries that promote religious freedom are more tolerant, are more understanding. People are more willing to contribute to community service and charities, and there's lots and lots of benefits to a society uh, for tolerating religious freedom, even if people aren't religious.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems currently in Canada, religion in general is marginalized in the public square. Why do you think that is?
Well, again, I know that Andrew Bennett this is one of the main things that he has written and spoken about, and he will be addressing. But I think it's just the increased secularization that we have in our society, where uh, religion as a whole is becoming less and less popular in our Western civilization. And so more and more people are non-religious. And also the whole concept of moral relativism, where the prevailing philosophy of many is that you do whatever you feel like doing, and that there isn't necessarily a God or a higher power that is giving direction and guidance to our lives. And so I think those two philosophies and influences are really putting a lot of pressure on religious freedom, and governments are becoming more and more willing to take away religious freedom when they feel like it suits their purposes, and that's a real concern.
Okay, now, Richard, you are a lawyer, so you might be the perfect person to ask this. So, do you think that when it comes to legal battles over constitutional rights, that the right to freedom of religion generally ends up at the bottom of the pile?
I think that's sometimes true, and again, I think that's a sign of the secularization in our society, and how non-religious people, who are now becoming more and more the majority, don't see the value of religious freedom. And that's exactly what we're trying to address in this symposium. We're trying to help people come to an event that will understand value. This constitutionally enshrined value isn't just for religious people who go to church every Sunday. It's or sometimes it's for everybody, because it improves the society as a whole. When you respect religious freedom, it helps a society be more unified, be more being able to live in peace together, where you have differences in beliefs.
Yeah, you mentioned differences there. So freedom of religion also means the freedom to disagree with one another, then, right? So how do we go about
100%.
disagreeing in a
You bet.
respectful and peaceful manner?
Well, let me answer that by giving an example. I think that the key is listening, and I had an experience. Let's see, it was 7 years ago, where I was involved in a group of people who approached the local school board, concerned about some of the policies that they were implementing, and the lack of respect that they were showing for religious communities and religious families. And bottom line is, we formed a committee that had representatives of the school board and representatives of this citizens group that sat down to look at this policy. And we just decided we were going to listen to each other, and we were going to find out what were the concerns of those who were proposing these policies. We then expressed our concerns, and we found that through that process of listening to each other, we were able to formulate a policy that respected both. It respected the rights of religious people to maintain those rights. It respected the rights of those who felt and wanted to live otherwise, to do that as well. And I think that really, that listening is what's lacking. We're quick to express our views. We're quick to call somebody else out who maybe is living differently or believing differently. But when we sit down and listen and respect, that's where the unifying influence and the peace comes in.
And I think those examples are especially true right now with the day and age of social media, right? We're living in these times where there's societal pressure to think alike on both social and moral issues. And then, of course, that leaves very little room for debate and discussion. So if someone disagrees with the majority view, they tend to be labeled as being hateful or intolerant, and they could be shunned. So any thoughts on where this could be headed and what can be done to turn the tide?
Well, again, I think that it's a matter of listening and finding out really um, what are the views and the concerns of people who believe differently, and finding the common ground, because we're all humans. We're all wanting to live peacefully, and we can differ in our beliefs and our lifestyle choices, and we can still live in harmony and peace one with another. And I think that that's a basic tenet of most religions, and it's certainly something that can help us to respect other people's beliefs and other people's lifestyles, and being able to live in harmony together. And that's the whole point of why we're doing this symposium.
Yeah. What would freedom for all religious beliefs look like, do you think?
Well, again, I think it's tolerance, and understanding and respect, and allowing people to, and obviously there has to be some limitations on that. If my religious beliefs are causing harm to others, or there is built into the Canadian Charter of Rights those protections, and limitations, I guess. But generally speaking, it would be people who would respect other people's beliefs, and to express those beliefs. Like, public officials oftentimes are afraid to express their beliefs that are based in their religion, because they're criticized and they're marginalized. And there's so many examples of that. And I think that's not a good omen for our society. We need to encourage people to pursue their beliefs and to express their beliefs, and then to be able to listen and discuss, and understand each other better.
Yeah. Once again, Richard, can you maybe share with our viewers how they can take part in this Lethbridge Religious Freedom Symposium taking place on Saturday, September 21st?
You bet. We have a Facebook group, Lethbridge Friends of Religious Freedom. You can look up, or a Facebook page. You can search that up, and there's an Eventbrite link in that page that you can go to get tickets. You can go straight to eventbrite.ca and search Lethbridge Religious Freedom Symposium. The event will come up. It's $20 for a ticket. That includes a light lunch, and we're also going to be selling tickets at the door. So we Southminster United can seat 950, and we hope to pack the place. Again, these people that are coming are donating their time and their expertise, and if you Google any of their names, you'll find that they are really experts in this area. So anyone who comes, I can promise and guarantee you won't regret it. You will be glad that you came, to increase your understanding of what religious freedom is all about and why it's important.
And once again, that symposium is September 21st, which is a Saturday, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at Southminster United Church. Thanks so much for being with us today, Richard.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good to be with you. Have a good day.
You too. Richard Lowe is a spokesperson for the Lethbridge Friends of Religious Freedom.